So as promised, here is the course tour. Here we are in the student preview mode. I made it sure that this should be what you will see when you log into the course. Um, Here on the course homepage, you will find a Twitter feed. You will also find a link to the announcements and a link to your grades. So if you ever need a quick link to announcements, I do post those quite frequently. And to check where you're at with assignments and feedback, those are the links that you'll use for that. The Twitter feed is here just so that you can kind of keep tabs on what people are posting, even when you're not posting and you're just kind of going into the class in Blackboard. This is kind of short on tweets because we haven't started the class yet, but it will be full once we get things rolling. I do want to mention that it is best to do your work on Twitter itself. So go to twitter.com or go to tweetdeck.com and use those to make the posts, because if you try to use this thing, it won't be very easy. It'll be kind of problematic. So please avoid those. Use them just for your information, just to see what people are saying, not to respond and to post. Hopefully you've already clicked Start Here. That's where you will find this video along with the mile instructions once I finish recording this. When you click on the Start Here module, please do read through the information here. It is a lot of kind of general information about distance learning that you'll get in most of your CNM courses, but it is important, and there are important resources here for you. So, excuse me, I almost sneezed. So please do read through and note at least what is here, just in case you need it as we continue to go along. Of course, the syllabus is available here, but it's also available in the syllabus tab. So however you want to go and access that, please read through the syllabus, get to know it as well as you can. In the syllabus, there are links to specific instructions and information for each kind of assignment that we'll be doing in this class. So for example, the reading tweets, the timeline, the discussions, and the journals are all described in more detail if you use the links that are embedded in the syllabus. There are links to the discussion board information and the journal instructions here within the syllabus tab. Instructor information provides you with my contact info. Also, please scroll down. There's another intro video there, but please do scroll down and see what is here for you, because there is information about my contact and response time. There's also information about the late policy, and there's a link to the purchase for the Mile eText that we'll be using for this class. Let's see, so the course schedule, this is also available in the syllabus, but just in case you want to just quickly reference the course schedule, you can do that here. So again, this is also at the end of the syllabus, but this is just a quick reference version of it. This is the Blackboard calendar that will have due dates from all of the classes that you're enrolled in. So that's the kind of information that's available here in the top. Here is the actual course content. And I say this elsewhere, as long as you keep tabs on the syllabus and the learning modules, you should always know what is due and when. Here is the list of learning modules. I leave them all open for you so you can work ahead if you would like. If you do that, please make sure that you go back and complete the connection steps for the timelines as appropriate. Unit 1 is a little bit different than most units, so I'm going to click on Unit 2. Unit 1 is self-explanatory. It's the same in terms of its structure, in that there is an introduction with the objectives and a list of all the work you'll need to complete. It's just that the work you'll need to complete is different for Unit 1. For Units 2 through 7, it's essentially the same steps. We'll be doing the same assignments, but we'll just be doing it for different material. So each unit has an introduction to the topics that we'll be studying, the events and themes that we'll be looking at. And then as you scroll down, you will find this section that tells you exactly what you need to complete and when for this unit. So by Wednesday of the second week, you'll need to do the reading and view as many of the film clips as you can. you'll need to post your 15 reading tweets, and you'll need to post your identification step of the timeline assignment. Then by Friday, you'll need to go back and post a connection step on the timeline and complete your journal entry. There's also a reminder to complete the 2 of 4 discussion forums by the end of the course. And here are the objectives for the unit. There's also an intro video. So that's what you'll see at the beginning of each unit. Then you can either use these arrows or the table of contents here to move through the unit to the places where you'll submit the assignments. The second thing will always be the list of readings. As I promised, Morgan is or not promised, but the Mile eText is listed as Morgan because all of the texts are listed by the author's last name. And as promised, for the first couple of units, if you click these numbers, chapter numbers, you will get a PDF of those, just to give you time if you're needing to use financial aid to get access to the text. I will let you know this is a bare bones version of the text. You'll get the basic information, but it's an earlier iteration of it. And it also doesn't have any of the videos or hyperlinks or any of those kinds of things embedded in it. So it'll just kind of get you by. There's always a set of film clips in each unit. And as I've noted here, there's more here than you'll be able to watch. So these are meant to supplement the readings and to kind of help you make connections or answer questions that you may have had that you didn't quite get from the readings. So use them in that way as a supplemental resource, not as the kind of core course material. All right, and then let's see, there's an FYI information about the Idle No More movement. I'll look into that. Something's going on. There should be tweets embedded there. That won't be in every unit. That's something unique to Unit 2 because it's relevant to the unit. And this is what should have happened with the Idle No More. There will always be a post, or I should say a section like this in the learning module that, again, is just there to remind you to go and complete the assignment. As I said earlier, don't use these to try to complete the assignment, these embedded Twitter feeds, but instead go to either Twitter or TweetDeck to do that. You will complete your timeline submissions here. So it's one of those click to launch, and it'll actually take you over to this timeline tab. So something else to note is that you'll have everything you need. I'm going on to the journal. Everything you need step by step in each of the learning modules, and then at the end there's this self-assessment and looking ahead. So it provides a list of these are the things you should have done if you're going to count Unit 2 finished. And then also it'll give you information on the big assignments coming up. So a lot of these aren't included in the typical patterns of the class. For example, the final project, you'll need to be looking for a topic and then completing your list of resources, long list, and then completing the actual assignment and so on. There are reminders and information about that there. So that's generally what is in the learning modules. It's essentially the same for each unit, and as long as you keep tabs on those, you'll know exactly what you need to do. Over here, these are kind of quick reference ways to get back to specific assignments. If you've gone away from the learning module to do your reading, and you know you need to do reading tweets, you can just go straight to Twitter to do that. But if you need to look at what the assignment is first, you can just go over here and click this link, and you'll be able to go to the assignment. Also, there is a tutorial. I made this last fall, but it still works for this class. Just telling you how to register for Twitter and get started with it. So go ahead and use that as needed. Same thing for the timeline. This is the quick reference that you'll be sent over to these specific folders from each unit. So if you click on the submission link for Unit 2, you'll be sent to this one. And then you can use this for the ID step and this one to attach the connection step and so on. Going back to the main timeline tab. But the main section of the timeline tab contains a link to the timeline, a link to the instructions for how to do these assignments, and then a video tutorial. So please do use and access all of these materials. Discussions, hopefully this is pretty straightforward and self-explanatory because these are kind of a staple feature of most online courses. Excuse me, I scrolled down too quick. The student lounge is just there like a bulletin board for you all to use to talk to each other should you wish to do that. These two, does anyone know, and timeline assignment questions are where you can post specific questions you have about, for this one, anything that's going on with the class that you just don't quite get how to do, or content information that you didn't quite understand. This one is obviously specifically for the timeline. So if you're wondering about the timeline, post your questions here, and then others might see that and then be able to help you out. Sometimes that means you'll get an answer more quickly than I can give it to you. Because although I try to be as responsive as possible, there are times when I'm just not on. So that's just something that is built into the class so that we can help each other out. The introductions, the what is history, those are for Unit 1. You do need to complete both of those, and there will be information on that in the learning module. Then below, there are 4 different options. So you can read through each of those on your own time. As you see, number 2 wants you to make a meme about the US-Mexico War. These discussion forums are meant to be spaces where you can be kind of creative with the ideas and events that we've been talking about. And you can also think about how history is manifested in the present. So what you need to do is just choose 2 of these to complete. You don't have to complete all 4, but you need to do 2 of them. And there are specific specific information about what you need to do in the discussion board guidelines. But you need to do 2 of the 4 by the end of the semester. I just wanted to bring that up because they're not included in the regular unit learning modules. Those are things you need to kind of do as you can fit it in as you go. You can go directly to your journals here if you want to access them that way rather than through the learning module. The final project tab, like the timeline tab and the reading tweets tab, has the instructions for the project as well as a tutorial. I may need to redo that one soon. That one's getting kind of old, but it should still be relevant, and all the information should still be correct. This one has there's a specific issue about embedding your academic sources in Storify, so that's what that is, and then the submission links for each steps of the project. Finally, in course content, you have the film review. This is extra credit, so if you can get a copy of the Milagro Beanfield War, unfortunately it's not as readily available as it was in the past. It used to just be streaming on Netflix, but now I believe you can still get it streaming on Amazon Instant, or you can get it at the library, at the public library or the CNN library. Watch the film and complete that for extra credit if you'd like to do so. Then lastly here is the course communication section. I won't click on each of those. Those are announcements. This will take you to where you need to go for online office hours. My office hours are Monday mornings, 9 to 11. This is just taking you to CNM email, but through Blackboard. And then Blackboard IM and your grades. So, and then if you need any help, these are help resources there. So hopefully that is helpful in some way. Please let me know what questions you have as you begin the course and work to become familiar with everything that we'll be doing.